Welcome to Marketing in Your Car, the podcast for funnel hackers everywhere. You are now part of a small group of underground entrepreneurs who are trying to change the world through the products and the services that we believe in. But because we don't rely on venture capitalists, we don't have financial safety nets. So we have to do things differently. We have to do things smarter. We do that through an art and a science that we call funnel hacking. Now, this podcast will give you a glimpse at the daily life of a funnel hacker. So let's get started. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Marketing in Your Car. I have good news and bad news, you guys. Not the bad news, the good news. Good news, I got some cool stuff to share with you. Bad news is, maybe it's good news, I don't know. I think, and I'm a little nervous about this, but I think I'm ready. He's ready for this? To rebrand the podcast. What? So it's been called Marketing in Your Car for the last, I don't know how long I've done this for, but I bought the domain and the concept initially like 10 years ago. And it's been cool, and I like it, but I'm thinking about changing. And I wanted to change. I think we've talked about this a couple times. You guys are my therapist sometimes on these things. I was going to change the name of it a couple times, and I haven't. And then yesterday something happened where I had to find something that wasn't just better, but like a billion times better. And I think I may have got it. So I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but I'm excited because it's like a billion times better. So there may be a new rebrand coming up here soon. And if so, if you'd like it, let me know. So I'm excited for it. Oh, I'm so excited. All right, so that's what I'm going to give you. I got to step back. All right, today is a good day. Yesterday was a good day. Yesterday was insane. So we had our certified partners in town. We had a big group, about 45 people here. And then some of our inner circle members were the ones that actually were the business owners. So certified partners have a chance to like interview them, figure them out, and then go actually build funnels all night for them, and then come back and present their things. It was really cool. It's a fun kind of capstone at the end of the certified partner program. And I have a chance to speak with them in a little bit, or I speak to them at the very beginning, and then kind of sneak in and peek and watch as they're working and doing all their fun stuff. So it was really cool. And now most of them left today, and so today. And then yesterday, the other cool thing, so as you know, we're in the book launch. We are almost like a few books away from 30,000 books. We'll definitely pass it today. And not that this matters, but you look at like how much money is made inside of the cart for every book. Probably tomorrow, my guess is we will pass $1 million collected through this funnel, through the front end funnel, not counting the back end stuff. Which is also really, really cool, which means Expert Secrets book will officially be inducted into the 2 Comma Club, and we will order my own big old record plaque. And yes, I am just like all you guys. I want one every single time I have a funnel that makes $1 million. So we will be ordering one of those. And today or tomorrow, we will be passing 40,000 active ClickFunnels members as well. So, so many cool things happening. That was so exciting. And then step back, another thing is, as I've done this book launch, you guys know I've been doing all these Facebook Lives, these interviews, and they've been going awesome. Kind of exhausting, I'm not going to lie. Plus, we're doing a juice fast this week, which is the second juice fast I've done this month, which basically means when I'm not juice fasting, I'm overeating, because like you have to come back to it. And it's funny, Dave Woodward and his wife, Carrie, were teasing me behind my back, because I got all these guys to do juice fast with me this time. And Dave's like, why is this so hard? Like, why isn't Russell complaining? And then they're like, well, Russell's a professional dieter. And we were laughing because like I actually am, if you think about this. So I spent 12 years of my life as a wrestling. And what I did is every single Monday I'd come in and I'd be 30 pounds overweight. And by Friday I'd be 30 pounds down, I'd weigh in. And then I'd start this vicious cycle over and over again for 12 years of my life. And I didn't mind in wrestling, but you don't realize what a pattern that sets. And so I had this epiphany the other day when I'm hanging out with Dave and Carrie. I may have already talked to you about this, I don't remember. But basically, my pattern in life is that same way. Every Monday, from Monday till Friday, I'm at the office and I eat perfectly. I usually lose about 5 pounds a week. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I just can't stop myself. It's insane. And so I think it's like, it has to do with my wrestling pattern that I instilled over 12 years of like dieting all week and then picking out all weekend. And so like, that's been my pattern. That's why like I can't ever lose weight, because I lose weight Monday through Friday, and then the last 3 days, it's like I had my weigh-ins and I can eat whatever I want. And then Monday I start over again. So I've been professionally dieting now for like 25 years, which is kind of cool. Except for it's lame, but anyway, so why am I telling you that story? Oh yeah, because that's why I'm on a juice fast again. So someday I'll figure this out. It's a psychological problem now, I know. So I got to fix that. I got to fix my brain, which actually I'm working on from multiple different angles. So that's good. Now that I'm aware of it, I can affect it, which is hopefully a key for some of you guys. All right, step back. So what I want to share with you guys that was really, really cool is we had my interview with Tony Robbins yesterday, where he was interviewing me. So I've interviewed him before. He interviewed me on a New Money Master series. Like, we've kind of done back and forth on some of these things, and it was crazy because in true Tony fashion, like, he tells you, like, hey, we're going to start at this time, and then they shift it like 10 times throughout the day. And so I feel bad because we had other podcast interviews lined up, and we had to like keep bumping people and shifting them around. And so if I bumped you guys yesterday because of Tony, I'm apologizing, but come on, it's Tony. Like, it was so cool. So I've known Tony now for almost 10 years, which is crazy. It's been a decade that I've known him, which is insanely cool. And in that time, I've never asked him to do anything. I just love him and what he does so much. I was like, okay, how can I help him? And so, we created a book funnel for him. I paid my own costs. I paid my own flights, my hotel. Like, it all came out of my own pocket. I spent, I don't know, probably 20 grand, like, building a book funnel for him and just gave it to him as a gift. I've coached his people. I've helped consult him and his other people on his team. I've done a lot of things like that, right? I spoke at his events. Like, anything I can do, I've tried to do and just help him, and not with ever like an ulterior motive, like someday he's gonna get me. I have a joke with one of my buddies, who he always jokes. He's like, I'm your real friend. Like, I'm not here because you're successful. I'm your real friend. And I was like, whatever. It's a long con. You're waiting for like 10 years from now to like cash out. And it's always kind of this joke. I'm like, how's the long con treating you? And so what I said is, like, with Tony, it was never like a long con, like, okay, in 10 years from now he's gonna maybe promote me. It was never like that. It was like, dude, Tony's freaking awesome. He's helped me so much. How can I help and serve and give back? Like I don't think I could ever give back what I got from him. And so it's like, anything we're doing is cool, right? But think about like I helped him as from giving what I'm best at and gave that to him for free. I paid him to come to my event. I'm a customer. I'm I've done all those things. And just because, like, trying to give back to him in a little way, and obviously he gives every time I help a little bit, he gives back so much more. Like, in our event, we paid a lot of money for him to come to the event as our keynote, but then he came back and went for 5 hours and just blew everyone's minds, and it was insane. So anyway, long story short, I've never asked Tony to promote anything ever, and this came around, the book came out, and it was the first time I was ever like, hey, like, would you be willing to do this? And he's like, yeah. And what's crazy about that is like, I think so many people go into relationships like looking at like what's the ROI for me in this deal, right? Like should I invest in my time? And I think that's the reason why most people don't get deals to happen, and they don't have longer term things happen. You know what I mean? Like, if I went to Tony's thing, like, okay, what's my angle? How am I gonna get him to help me? And it never would have happened, I don't think. But because I was like, hey, Tony's the man, how can I help him? Then now 10 years later, a long time later, but 10 years later, he comes back and does this really cool thing, and it was amazing. So some of the results, we did the Facebook Live interview. We actually did it first on Skype because he just wanted to not have it live just in case something bad happened. So we did it live. He was like, cool, you guys can run it. So we took that, we edited it real quick, just chopped out the beginning and the end, and then we put it through OBS, which is a streaming platform, and did Facebook Live on Tony's page. And we had like 1.8 to 1.9 thousand people watching it the entire time. 5 hours into it, we had like 70,000 views and like 300,000 or 400,000 reach. This morning it was like almost 100,000 views and like, I don't know, close to 1 million reach. I think 19,000 clicks had come from it, which is crazy. Like, if we were to buy a Facebook ad and get 19,000 clicks, you say that's probably 20, 30 grand in ad costs just to get that. And this is all coming organically from Tony's page, his recommendation. We're selling tons and tons of books. And then in this virtual book tour, one of the cool things we're doing is, with everyone, we're doing the Facebook Live on their page, so it lives on their fan page, and then we're going in, they're making us admin on their account, and we're actually paying my money to boost their Facebook Live to their audience. And so now we have the opportunity where they're allowing us to spend my money to promote to their audience. So now it's going out to all 2.2 million of his followers, and this can keep growing and growing. And my guess is the next week we'll have 1 million views on that video, and it's just huge. Like, it's a huge win for us. Like, we were going crazy celebrating, and we'll continue to. And I'm just so grateful. First off, Tony was willing to do that because he's so protective of his brand and everything, and it means a lot to me that he was willing to do that. But second off, I just want you guys to realize that like I can't tell you how many people a day that I meet that come in that are all about, like, you can tell, like, as they look at you, I just assume it's like what really good looking women struggle with. Like, you meet a guy and like you can tell that like they don't really care about you. They're just like interested in everything else, right? And I get that a lot. Like, it's hard. Like, since I meet people, like, even at the certified partner event, like, a couple people I met, and I was just like, I could tell I was like a piece of meat, and they were they're looking me up and trying to figure out, like, okay, this is how we're going to get this thing from him. And it's just like, I hate that. Whereas the people that I do deals with, similar to Tony or whatever, it's like, it's the people that come in and they legitimately care and they serve and they help and they do stuff, right? Like last year, I think we only promoted one person last year, was Stu McLaren. Now, why? Well, Stu's like awesome. Like for the last 10 years of our life, he's never once asked me for anything. He's always helped me and served me and given me cool opportunities to serve other people, and like just such a cool person. And so when he came, it was the only person we promoted last year. And this year we're probably not promoting anyone, because it's just like we don't need to do that. We don't have to do that. Like Tony didn't have to do this. It didn't help him at all. But the right people, it's like you're giving back to them from the relationship. And so if I can say anything to you guys, I would say start focusing on relationships without like trying to figure out like, if I like, what's the ROI in this relationship, right? I know that, and I'm very big on that. Like if you take the DISC profile, I think it's a DISC, like one of the traits of like, one of my traits is like, everything for me is like ROI. Like what's the ROI of this conversation? What's the ROI of me doing everything, you know? And if there's not ROI, I don't like doing it. But with the relationships, I try to like not have an ROI, like just go into it and like look at the other person as a human being as opposed to like an investment, and just be like, how can I help this person? Like, what do I got that can serve them? And if you do that from a real, like not like a fake standpoint where you're like actually in it for the long con, but you're in it for like, this dude's awesome, I want to help him. And then good things will come to you, and then that's how relationships are actually built. Like you don't get into relationships with people typically where the first date you're like trying to size them up and figure out like what you can get out of it, right? It's the ones where you're coming in and you're serving that turn into the amazing relationships, especially when both people are serving. Like that's when the most magic happens. So anyway, there's a book called Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty. I think was it Harvey McKay? I don't know. I never actually read it, but I read the title, and that's the gist I'm trying to share with you guys today. Dig your well before you're thirsty, because someday you'll be thirsty. Someday you're gonna have a book launching 10 years from now, or whatever that is, and because I dug that well and I've been digging it for 10 years, like now when it comes, now it's actually happening. So, and same thing like in this, it's interesting, like, you know, this business for me it used to be all about reciprocation. Like people only promote you if you promoted them. And so like 3 years ago when we launched ClickFunnels, we said, you know, we can't do that anymore. We just can't. Otherwise, you know, our business won't be able to grow. And it was scary for me because I was like, how are we going to grow this company if I'm not reciprocating? And so I was like, well, how else can I reciprocate? And so for the market, for partners, for everyone, I'm like, I've got to reciprocate by just giving everything all the time. And what's crazy is people that are promoting this book launch, I look at there's some of my mentors, people who I look up to more than almost anyone. I look at, you know, like Mark Joyner was my very first mentor. I look at Alex Mendoza, and I look at all these people who are helping us promote, and none of them are doing it with like, hey Russell, you promote me, I'll promote you back. They're all doing like, man, Russell, you've given so much to whatever, to them, to the community, whatever. Then now they're promoting it, and like it was insane. Like, and so I almost feel like I always thought like the only way to do that was through reciprocation, and it kind of is true, but it's a different kind of reciprocation. It's not just like you promote me, I'll promote you. It's like legitimately spend the next 3 years of your life seeing how you can serve your market and the people around you and the people, and just figuring that out. And then when you do, like, they'll say yes, and that's cool. That's really, really cool. So it was a big breakthrough for me, and hopefully it was good for you guys. So dig your well before you're thirsty. Build relationships without trying to get anything in return. And then in the long term, who knows what'll happen. But something might happen. Whereas if you go the other way, nothing's going to happen. So there you go, you guys. And the last thing I'll say is when you cultivate and build those relationships, that is the gift in and of itself. Like, that's the ROI. Like, I look at Mark Joyner, my first mentor, who we had him come out for Funnel Hacker TV. We worked with him, and like that relationship with him for me is huge. Like, that was worth way more than him promoting. You know what I mean? Like just the benefits of that, getting to know him and being able to know him at a more personal level was worth 10x more than him ever promoting for us. And so like that's the result. Like, getting deep in the relationship is the result. That's the ROI you're looking for, and any other ROIs that come are just gravy. So focus on that relationship and how you can help people, and that's the key. Anyway, I know it's not like marketing tactile, like what's the tactics? Here's a tactic. Become really good friends with people and try to help them. Like, it's not a sexy tactic, but it's the most important one. So there you go. All right, I'm out, you guys. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, everybody. Thanks so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed the behind-the-scenes look at our funnel hacking projects. You can also watch the Funnel Hacker online reality show and watch us build and launch funnels live at www.funnelhacker.tv. If you'd like to come hang out with your fellow funnel hackers, come join our Facebook group at www.projectclickfunnels.com. Oh yeah, and don't forget, you can get a free MP3 player with the first 257 episodes preloaded at marketinginyourcar.com. Join us next time, and remember, you're just one funnel away from your dreams.